Hello friends, how you doing? Mark here. I hope you're doing well and hope you're relaxed and hope you can get any worries off your chest and yeah, optimistic about the future in general and with your specific issue and my own specific issues and yeah, I think we've got some positive things going on in the future, some positive trends, but yeah, I'm here with maybe not such a positive trend, but I just felt I had a bit of a responsibility to try and put some of this stuff across. And what I'm talking about here is America at the UN going on the side of North Korea and Russia, sort of literally against the wishes of, let's say, the closest allies of the US, and I say the closest allies in the most literal meaning that it can be allies. And what I'm talking about there is groups of people who have sent people to help battles and have had sons die in those battles. That's the extent that we're talking about here. Anyway, yeah, so I've got a few points I want to make, about four sort of main points, and first one's about generosity and charity. Yeah, look, here in Perth, and it's not just Perth, it's Tokyo as well, it's Dubai, it's basically everywhere. We generally don't give a lot to beggars in these sort of more well-off places. Maybe in Perth, Tokyo, okay, because we sort of know that there is a good welfare system in place. Like, just talking in the case of Australia, you know, we've roughly got a universal basic income. If you don't have money coming in, somebody will give you some money. That's just how it is. So yeah, we don't give to beggars because we generally speaking, we just feel that their issue is unusually demanding unnecessarily, given that they've already got sort of $600 a week or something. But we do give. It's not because we're not givers, you know. We do give. You know, for example, we maybe you have some. Yeah, we just do give. You know, I mean, you know, if we see some genuine need, or like if we see a kid standing in the middle of the road in front of traffic, we run out and move them. You know, we do that not for wanting any benefit, but we just help people in need when we see it. Everyone, you have to be 9 out of 10, you know, and that 1 out of 10 would have just had to froze or be scared or something. But yeah, you help people in imminent danger, just as something out of humanity. You might help people that you might have a personal interest. We might have personal interest in helping people. For example, like maybe you've had a customer for 3 or 4 projects, and the customer says, "Oh, you know, I can't cover the next 2 projects, but after that we'll be back on and providing other projects." All right, great. Yeah, we'll help you with 1 or 2 projects here. It's self-interest, but we're helping. Yeah, we're helping. Maybe you've got some family member or friend who's a bit animated, and you need to, whatever it is, you know, lend money or help or do something. You know, you might just do that to bring more peace to your life. You know, you might think, well, I don't need to do ABC, but I'm going to do ABC because I just want to have a bit of space for myself, by myself, you know, this kind of thing. So yeah, we do give. It's not that we give, but yeah. So where I'm going with this is this. You've got you know, this sort of what we're seeing with Trump at the moment, and a fantastic communicator. I do believe that he thinks he's doing the right thing. He's there. He won the election. He's got a lot of followers. But yeah, a lot of things are sort of getting drummed up very much out of proportion, and I feel like I need to express some of these points. Hopefully that my peers, this is mainly for people in Australia, but generally speaking, the principles are all universal, and that's a big part of why, you know, some of us are concerned, morally, you might say, or logically, or whatever. But yeah, USA, and this is another thing here, a lot of distractors. The distractors are just getting thrown on, insane, yeah, just hardcore distraction. is it a distraction, or do the people who are doing these various things think that now is the best time to do those things? It's probably that. It's probably the latter. They probably believe it's the best time to do these things. But there's just so many things coming that people aren't sure which deserves attention. And, we've still got, it just, it's like when you're sort of in a restaurant, or let's say a clothing store, they give you 2 options, because then you sort of choose one, You don't give them 20 options. Why are you showing me 20 shirts? It's a bit like that. But anyway, USAID. My main first number 1 point here is that USAID, a lot of fuss about it. How's it being spent? Where's it going? All this efficiency. Most importantly, very, very importantly, USAID, this amount of money we're talking about is not a generous amount in any shape, form. We are talking about a tiny amount. The US is not even in the top 20 for per capita foreign aid contribution. In fact, it's like I said, not even in the top 20. And a lot of countries in Europe and Australia pay 5 times as much per person. So the US foreign aid thing was not draining your average Joe in the US. That guy was getting off free compared to Europe and Australia. That was the point there. Not a lot in the USAID. And this shouldn't really surprise anyone, because if the US is the welfare budget in the US is tiny. Comparatively. The US is a country that's paying a lower amount of tax. People are paying less tax than comparable countries, than Europe and Australia and so on. So less money is going from the rich to the poor in America. That's just how it is. So domestically, there's nothing too generous going on with helping less fortunate persons. Just to show you the context here. Internationally, USAID. Like I said, 1/5 per person of what we're used to in Australia or Europe. So I don't know what that means, but like 1/5 of a can of Monster is 1/5 of it, Anyway, not a lot. And so, but then people are probably thinking, well, so that's my main first point. USAID budget, even the welfare, but let's just stay with USA foreign aid. It's not a generous amount in any shape or form. UK is about half US, and yet US has got 5-6 times the population. That's what we're talking about here. So people are wondering, foreign aid. This is the first sort of fucking rung on the ladder, isn't it? Foreign aid. Why are we sending all this money to wherever? Foreign aid. Look after your own first. This line. But good, sure, absolutely. Why not? I'm looking after obviously myself here and my family before I'm looking after some dude that I don't even know. Yeah, obviously. But it's. Foreign aid is a misnomer. It's the wrong name for what's actually going on. It's not really so much aid. Foreign aid, a lot of it is the productivity, like the example I said there, the guy 3 projects can't cover 2, then he'll give you 3 later on. It's very similar to that. A lot of the foreign aid goes to developing customer bases, literally. Wealth is a productivity thing. The more productive your stakeholders, your clients, your customers, your allies are, the more benefit everyone's getting. That's just how it is. It's not a coin that you sort of fucking diamond cut up. No. So productivity. So that's what happens. Oz puts out money to Papua New Guinea. Yeah, all right. People are saying help ourselves first. Don't help these other countries. Foreign aid, blah blah blah. I think I read 500 million a year to Papua New Guinea, but we got a 1.3 billion profit from. I'm not sure if that's. Well, actually, I don't think they're not considered together, because the aid's over here, 500 million. The profits over here from sort of a 90% share in the major gold mine, and essentially large scale control of the whole place, roughly speaking. as many players there are in the market, and as you know, as we know, like China with no ill intentions, you know, they don't have a history of ill intentions. They were there also sort of asking around, and why not? There's a gold mine and shit there, and amongst other things. So yeah, okay, productivity. It's just productivity or it just comes, it's literally profit making. You know, East Timor, exactly the same. There's just so many examples of Australia in the Pacific like that. You'd be surprised. Peace. You know, Papua New Guinea, obviously part of the deal there is a 10-year sort of exclusive defense deal with Australia, and that's it's 10 years and far out, far out. Actually, to be honest, like living in Perth, which I kind of feel that 10 years is not enough. You know, do you think 10 years is enough? Like, where the hell do you think the front is going to be if some bunch, and I'm not pointing any fingers whatsoever, you know, we could just be talking about some rogues, which has happened in different places. You know, rogues get in and take over. Pretty hard to do that, you know. Not out of the question in uncertain times. But yeah, peace, you know. PNG is going to be where shit goes down if there is some kind of territory moving, and that could have come from any direction, you know. So yeah, PNG is very important, and that's where a lot of the aid goes. But then if you want to talk about the poverty side of things, I mean, you know, this is the money that's actually saving lives. Okay, how much foreign aid is sort of actually more aid in the actual sense of aid? I mean 10% maybe. So yeah, what's going on with that? Well, I tell you what's going on. I know exactly what's going on with that, because we know what a good Trump there with good intentions are hard to sort of comprehend what those intentions are, but he stops the AI, you know, his AI has said that it will cost millions of lives. This whole talk is going to have all these numbers, and they're not going to mean anything. But we're talking like, I mean, I know people who personally know people who this has already affected in Thailand, with the closure of some various setups. Well, basically like border hospital kind of things where people from Burma and Thailand can go to the hospital. We're talking the sort of extremely low income people in conflict zones and shit. But anyway, they reckon that 1 million people could die in South Africa from not being able to get AIDS medicine. 1 million people. Like, so what we're talking here is something that's directly coming from that. I mean, okay, yeah, this person had AIDS already. You can judge that morally however you like. I mean, they could have just got it by living with someone, or I got no idea, but I'm not going to judge. I think we should pretty much all be accepting that AIDS is moving around, or if it is around, I don't know, it hasn't seemed to be around here anymore, and we seem to have some good medicine. But the point of that long ass story is that's what AI taught me, okay? Copilot. $450 million worth of food went off. Now, I don't know how the hell they verified that, but yeah, it's believable. I mean, if shit is frozen, it's frozen. If trips aren't moving, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're freezing shit. I mean, there must have been some mitigation there. I mean, there was sort of a whole pile of specific, like, maternity health ones that would kind of appeared a bit alarming. I mean, AI's sort of exact wording there was something like, millions will die. AI. Yeah, that's just reading shit off the internet. I don't know how it's verifying that. I mean, I'm not out here to stress the value of AI, but I'm saying in this case it's a standard that I've seen. Yeah, I think we've all seen those figures before, wherever they're coming from. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, some people are going to say, oh, foreign aid, corruption. Yeah, it just goes to corruption, it goes to those generals, and they do whatever they want. But I mean, the estimates, World Bank, 2 to 5%, that's what they're estimating. Corruption's a hard thing to really predict because you don't know what's going on. But maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you do know what's going on. But yeah, look, 10% sort of on the top end of it. They're like, it's if 90% of your money is going to somewhere positive, yeah, you kind of got to take that admin hit. Or yeah, and okay, General 4-star Bobo idiot has taken like $10 million. What is he actually going to do with that? I mean, generally speaking, in pretty unstable places, nobody invests locally. You know, that guy's probably going to go and buy like a mansion in California or something, or maybe even like a house in Kalamunda, in Perth. That's what people do. You know, that's where the money goes. That's how it is. And that's where I'm sort of going to get to my theme of Oz needs to become the new Switzerland. Well, we kind of are in some ways, but I guess we always considered ourselves well and truly, yeah, like, I mean, there was a point in time there where the 51st state was almost seen as a positive thing. Yeah, I guess, when was that? Maybe Obama? But yeah, not sure. Yeah, but these days, far out, man. Oh, yeah, you want to associate, yeah, no. So yeah, that's my second point there. Foreign aid, it's two-way, and in the case of Australia and America, absolutely, any foreign aid dollar spent was coming back with hard profit, really hard profit. So yeah, that was a real strange one to happen, because it just didn't even seem to be selfish U.S. interest working there. Because you just fall out of favor, don't you? I mean, yeah, it's like when those beer companies go around to the nightclubs and they say to the bar manager, hey, check out this new beer, and by the way, like, if you sell more of this, something like that. So moving on, part 3, and this is the key one, alliance, and kind of wanted to get to this point like 12 minutes ago, but alliance, yeah, let's set up a scenario here. We've got like a pile of snakes, and these snakes, I'm not giving them any faces or names or anything, or there could be just range of snake actions. It could be like some nutcase on ice who's just shooting up a supermarket or something, or yeah. So yeah, I'm not throwing any names out there, but alliances, snakes, yeah. So yeah, you want to protect yourself from the snakes. That's basic security 101. You're like, me, snakes, okay. So let's just say there's these monkeys in this tree and they're eating all these bananas. And then, even though there's lots of snakes around, there's an eagle sitting at the bottom of the tree, and this eagle is it's keeping all the snakes away. Like, it doesn't. In fact, the eagle doesn't even need to really do anything. It's just sort of sitting there and scaring all the snakes away, because they heard the story of once upon a time when that eagle had to actually kill some snakes. So that's what happens. And the monkeys up there like eating their bananas, blah blah blah. Arguably getting lazy. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's what happens. Then what happened is that this has just gone on for ages. That they love each other and so on, because maybe one time the eagle was in a real fight, and they kitted up 2 monkey puppies and sent them or something. But then the eagle leaves, and then the monkeys are up there going, hang on a sec, like, these snakes can just like come directly up like a sitting duck, like Australia. And and then what do they do? Well, they think, well, someone's got to protect the place. Well, it can't be us old boys, like, that's what they're going to say. It's going to be young boys. So, all right, so then they're sending off like the kids, your kids. That's what I'm talking about here. That's what we don't want to have too much to do with, obviously, So yeah, alliances there, like, I mean, the inspiration for this was actually Malcolm Turnbull's chat. It had like 500,000 views. I'll link it in. And I thought that was really succinct. I thought he was really making some good points. Alliances, he's pretty much said that, like, our $300 or $400 billion deal with the US, that's the eagle there getting totally rich off the monkeys. and multiply that by every country in the world, kind of thing. So there was that, and he's just saying it just looks like it's worthless. And I mean, you got the guy. I mean, yeah, that's sort of what we're looking at there. The alliance, things have changed. It's pretty full on. I mean, Ukraine. It's sort of weird how that sort of went down. Obviously, a complex topic. Wide range of views and shit. But Ukraine's like used to be part of the USSR and real close to Moscow and what have you. True, and so on. And there was like there's some security theory that there's going to be buffer zone. I do agree with that. And there was further contractual stuff with like maybe NATO or some agreement with like not joining NATO or not having tanks or some shit at the border. So there was all that, but I mean the history there is undeniable. I mean they've had a century sort of long separation ethnically. The movement for separating Ukraine from USSR was from the 1960s. It's people going, 2014, oh yeah, 2014, man, okay, there was fucking nothing before that, was there? Because nothing happened before 2014, did it? I mean, like, all right, just maybe it did. I'm not an expert, but I'm just going to put some facts out there. Like 1960s, 1970s, there were quite a lot of movements to separate at that early stage. They were keen to get out earlier than other places that were also very, very keen to get out. I mean, pretty much all the former protectorates and republics of the USSR, from Mongolia to Georgia and Armenia and Belarus and all these places, Ukraine, like something like only 3 out of like 20 plus are still engaged with Moscow. So that's like, think about all that disengagement. All of these places just disengaged as quickly as they could. Disengaged. I'm not just talking about like the mini sort of, okay, we're no longer snip the state border or whatever. No, this was, you're talking wholesale disengagements. Yeah. So anyway, about the alliance stuff. Alliance. 1990. No, Chernobyl was in Ukraine, and that was a key point where the people in Ukraine were like, we've got to get out. Sorry about the language, but we've got to get out of this arrangement because this is, we just got like a fish with 3 eyes now, for fuck's sake. 1990, they declared the separation. 1990, they had some involvement with Kuwait, that Kuwait situation. That was 1990, 1991. 1991, they had an election. 93% said that they wanted independence. I don't know how secure that was. I've got no idea. I believe that Australian elections are completely secure. Let's just say to a very high degree. Maybe there's no way there'd be 1% error. No way. But anyway, so this alliance, 1991, and then Iraq. 6,000 soldiers from Ukraine were in Iraq, and that wasn't 2014. That was 2003. So there's been a strong intention to separate and to maintain that separated space, and that's been respected by everyone. And that was roughly called for, maybe not called for, but even indirectly endorsed, and I don't that by the US in those very early stages, like the 1960s. That's Ukraine. I mean, look, they had the 5th number of soldiers that died in Iraq. I mean, I don't think I need to pull out another simile there, but they sent sons to die for the US. That's 5th level of loyalness in the most recent similar event. I mean, that's pretty silly. To be honest, that's pretty silly. That's what's going on there. My 4th point was yeah, so what's the problem? We got the USA there. It's not getting to where it needs to go. People literally dying, and maybe even if you don't care about people dying, okay, sure, whatever, you don't care about foreigners dying. Infectious diseases again. You're talking about a breeding. Look, we've made. It just gets to a point where you're looking at regression and progression, and when you start like reintroducing or popularizing or mainstreaming infectious disease, coward, fucking hell, like. Sorry for language again, but I didn't do like so many years of science at uni to like have some kind of hot pocket nonsense like this. So how do we get there? And there's the conscription story there. Like, so foreign aid, people get hurt. Even locally and domestically in the US, there was never a high amount of spending per person. It was never generous in terms of social security. So we're not talking about like something that was way too generous and we needed to cut it. And then there is a level of fraud. I mean, the fraud in welfare is there's so much fraud that you don't even know how much fraud there is to measure that fraud. Like we're talking about something that you don't know about. Okay, I'm off to measure something I got no fucking idea of. I don't even know how to measure it because it's unseen. Nobody knows about it. So how the fuck are you going to predict how much there is? Yeah, we got cases, evidence here and there, but anyway, so bit of a problem there leading up to the conscription part, which is one that honestly is why I'm here and why I'm still talking so much later, which is kind of pretty fucked because I didn't want to make a long video. But this was worrying me in a compelling way. So what was going on there? How did we get here? Basically, how did we get to the point where we're so non-charitable? Even when that charity is actually business. And that's just the funny thing, corruption. I mean, okay, foreign aid, you're lubing the wheels, you sort of have this nice meal and giving these perks, and it does get very close to that bribery. Yeah, absolutely. But there is still a difference, and I mean, Trump himself, he repealed the essentially the Anti-International Bribery Crime Act. So the Foreign Corruption Practices Act is 50 years old, more than 50 years old. Every country's got something like it. It's not even strong compared to some other countries. Some other countries' set of these same rules are way stronger. Cancel that. That's gone. And then we got like a situation where, I mean, the situation of conscripting kids is a uniquely Australian thing, just in case you're thinking I'm speaking about global. I mean, it will affect some other nations in a similar way, yes. But, it's a local concern, that one, because, I mean, having spent time in countries where conscription is part of the deal, I don't like it. I don't like it. Everyone wants to be safe and secure, but also having lived in places where the army is very visible and often acting in illegitimate ways. I mean, it's hard to. It's just that power corrupts absolute, isn't it? It's just that, and you give a bunch of guns to a few guys dressing up like fools who are just going around with nothing to do. And that's it. They're going around like essentially robbing the population. So why did we get to this terrible stage? It is. I don't know. I think. I mean, was it Steven Seagal's YouTube? I mean, he had some pretty compelling pro-Putin YouTubes. How did we get here? I mean, the us and them thing got really pushed, didn't it? There's this us and them, and I mean, just it's generally not helpful. Sort of us and the more us and thems you got, the smaller the world is, and the harder it is to go anywhere and do anything or trade anything. It's us and them, and you just, using them yourself into a corner. You know, what's the point? Who cares? Like, yeah, I mean, it's just mutual things. Like, it's like the old, maybe it's an Aussie saying, like, oh, yeah, buy the cheapest house in the most expensive street. I mean, yeah, that was us thinking, you know, we've got to like work out what's going on with that one. But yeah, I mean, us and them, you know, this scapegoating and blaming, and it's just never really worked, you know, because it's just, things are way more complex than that, and humans are just not, our background is you know, increasingly just no longer a risk to our life. You know, like, that's the positive thing. That's what we got to go for. That's what this long talk's all about. Trump, yeah, I mean, you know, I can understand some people, like, in the US or wherever, with like some hopes and dreams, and perhaps think that, like, a different government is going to, you know, open things up. I from what we've seen, honestly, like, you just be fooling yourself, and I'm just, let's just say you're not fooling yourself. Let's just say that you're doing the smartest thing you've done. But yeah, look, AI couldn't list a single thing that Trump did for lower socioeconomic people in his last period. They couldn't list a single thing, not one thing. I mean, look, yeah, the moral legitimacy, I would have to say moral legitimacy. What else is there? Yeah, moral.